Mark Cantor, attorney at law, Cantor Injury Law, joins us now. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how are you, Dave?
Good, buddy. How are things in Cantorland?
Oh, they're fantastic. What a beautiful day. And I've been working here all day, doing a little bit of law and a lot of bit of the land. So it's a beautiful spot.
Probably really keeps you sane.
I love it out here. I built this lake, and I bought a limestone quarry out here. And it's just, it's God's country out here in Warrenton, Missouri. So I love it.
Did you grow up like that, Mark? Did you grow up like in the outside and hunting and stuff like that?
100%. I went camping with my family all the time. I didn't learn to hunt till later. My family was not into guns like I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mostly bow hunt now, but I love to hunt, and we do all that at Cantorland all the time. So, work hard, play hard. That's what we do out here.
I've never hunted in my life. I have no problem with it. And the one thing when people, and I understand, like if people say like, I can never shoot a deer, like, okay, I respect that. But one thing I always point out to people is the greatest conservationists I know are hunters.
100%. I mean, I'm out here conserving the environment to make the hunting better. Like we do timber stand improvements and controlled burns, everything to make our forest healthier. And the truth is that they don't have a natural predator. I mean, there's very few bears. So if you have too many of anything, it's bad. And so we're taking them ethically and morally, and we are conservationists. So I'm out here conserving the land and the water and the forests and doing all that I can to make Missouri better and to make my hunting property better.
So let's talk a little bit today about the Missouri Workman's Comp. And I remember when I went to law school knowing nothing about nothing, I was a little surprised that there was a kind of a separate law about people who were injured at work as opposed to people who were injured in a grocery store. But that's the way it is, and it's not always fair, and you really need a good attorney to wind your way around it.
Correct. So the workers' compensation system is really a fraud on the injured worker. You don't get a jury. You don't get any money for the pain and suffering or harms and losses that magnify these awards. You never hear someone winning $1 million in workers' compensation because when you win, they're only required to pay you a weekly benefit. And maybe it's for life, but it's just not that much. It's because the government was lobbied by large insurers and huge employers to not pay injured workers. So you said that it's not fair. It's not fair even when you have a lawyer because the system is stacked against you. I can make it more fair, but it's an unfair system for an injured worker.
And I remember, Mark, the first time when I went to work at the defense firm where I worked, hearing about the meat chart, and it's offensive and it's rude, but that's kind of what it is.
Well, it's a meat chart. Yeah. So I call it the workers' compensation conspiracy, and I named it the meat chart. The wrist, for instance, if you get your arm cut off at your wrist, it's 175 weeks of pay times 2/3 of your wages. I mean, if that happened in a truck collision case, I might win you $10 million or more. But if it happens in a work injury and there's not a civil claim, you're stuck to that meat chart. You get an additional 10% for the loss of a limb, but it's still pennies. It's still like paying you for 2 years to lose your hand. And it doesn't matter whether it's your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand. There's also something called disfigurement. So if you get burned beyond your mother's recognition, you can only get 40 weeks of pay. And it doesn't pay you for the hurt, how much that hurts to get burned. It only pays you for the disfigurement. The whole system is stacked for the employer. If they drug test you and you were using drugs a week before, but they're still in your system, they can get a 50% penalty. And if they fire you for what they call cause while you're receiving weekly benefits, they can terminate those benefits. So everything is unfair to the injured worker, and you need an aggressive lawyer if you have a serious injury in Missouri workers' compensation. And there's a lot of very good lawyers that do what I do at Cantor Injury Law. I can tell you that I think you're much better off with a local attorney rather than one that's advertising nationally because the rules are different. It's very local in Missouri. So this is all I've done for over 30 years. And There's lots of benefits that we can win you in workers' compensation, but you need a good lawyer to get those.
Mark, what are some of the red flags that if someone out there listening has been injured or maybe their buddy at work has been injured, what are some of the red flags that are complete no-nos for the employer to do to the injured employee?
All right, so this happens. Great question. But let's say you injure your back at work and you go to the company doctor. The employer gets to choose the doctor. And that doctor says you have a herniated disc at L4, L5, and you need a surgery and fusion. And all of a sudden you get a call from the adjuster and they say, well, you know what, we're going to send you for this other opinion. And remember, these doctors are hired too. They make a lot of money by issuing opinions that work didn't either cause the injury or cause any permanent partial disability. So they call you up and you're unrepresented and they tell you to go to a different doctor. And guess what? The new doctor says, oh, I think it's, degeneration. It's not related to work. And now all of a sudden you're stuck with no treatment. You're high and dry. So as soon as the adjuster gets involved, you should be thinking, I better call Cantor and call us because they're going to cheat you. The question is, how much are they going to cheat you? In Missouri, the employer chooses the doctor. When they call you for a recorded statement, you need a lawyer. I want to sit next to you at that recorded statement. They don't get two bites at the apple. They don't get to take your recorded statement and then later take your sworn testimony under oath, which is called a deposition. So you need to guard what you say and what you do. We never lie or cheat to win, but the system's stacked against you, so you got to get it all right the first time. If for instance, your rate, how much you're paid, that determines how much money you get at the end of the case. So they're going to try to cheat you on that. There's a lot of ways these insurance companies will try to cheat an injured worker, and it's really unfair. These are multi-million-dollar companies, and you're an injured worker doing the best you can, and they're trying not to pay you.
Mark, when I do my live endorsements for you, I always try to finish with, don't just call Mark Cantor, call him quickly. And I feel a little bit bad sometimes, like I'm using a scare tactic, but can you flesh that out for whether it's workman's comp or it's another type of injury, a car accident, a truck accident, medical malpractice, why it's so important to contact an attorney quickly because the defense has already started?
For sure. So a couple of things. First of all, in workers' compensation, you have a duty to notify your employer immediately. So if you wait, there's a defense that they can assert that they didn't have notice. So, if you consider yourself not a litigator and you don't want to sue your employer and you just kind of wait around and hope it'll get better, and then you realize that you need a surgery on your shoulder or back or whatever it is, the employer is going to say we didn't have notice, and they're going to deny your claim. So it's even shorter than your statute of limitations for like a car accident in Missouri is 5 years. Medical malpractice, the statute of limitations is 2 years. Wrongful death, the statute of limitations is 3 years. What a statute of limitations means is that if you don't file it, it's gone forever. Well, Missouri workers' compensation is the shortest of all of those. It's 2 years unless no report of injury was filed, which is a technical thing, and then it's 3 years. So they're really trying to shorten it up. You have 5 years to file a car accident case, but only 2 years to file a workers' compensation claim. And if you wait more than 30 days, they're going to give you a hard time about notice. So you really need to get a local lawyer very quickly. And you should get one that, has tried a ton of these cases. I cut my teeth on Missouri workers' compensation. Cantor Injury Law has an entire workers' compensation department with lawyers and paralegals. There's nothing new to us in Missouri workers' compensation because we've been trying and winning these cases for 33 years now. So I'm an unfortunate expert in this area. Unfortunate because it's just an unfair system, and I've seen all the unfairness. But we will fight like crazy to make it right for you, and that's why I say you can count on Cantor.
If you guys need Mark, give him a call at 314-628-9999. Go to cantorinjurylaw.com. Mark, have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, Dave, come out and visit sometime.
You got it, man.